Okay, so a couple main ideas. You want to keep your fingers in the mid-range. So if they can move from here to here, they're going to move best like right in here. If they're all crimped up, you're not going to be able to move too well. And you also, want to be able to do your full, that full follow through somewhere in that range. You want to keep your joints in line. And we also want to get rid of that conflict between your thumb and your pointer finger where they're running into each other. So the couple things you can do, the most important thing is right now your wrist is probably way down like this, so you have like very little space underneath. But you want to try and lift that wrist up. And what that does is what you're looking for is to get this knuckles more directly above your fingers. That way you have some room for your fingers to move up into your hand. Whereas if you're down here, you tend to be, really constricted. You can feel constricted, and you don't get any range of motion in your big joints. The big joints are faster and more powerful. So lift your wrist up. Don't lift your hand up off this. You still want to have those 3 points of contact, so you don't have to worry about holding the instrument while you play. So get your wrist up. The other thing that really helps is to play a little bit off the side of the finger. So instead of playing perpendicular to the string, where you have very little range of motion because you're trying to avoid the next string, you tend to just use those tips of your fingers again instead of the big powerful joints. You play a little bit more off the side. So you're coming from an angle so that if the strings are going this way, you're coming in at like maybe a 30-degree angle. What that does is give you a little bit more room for the finger to travel as it's going across the string. So instead of doing this and doing a little tight motion just with the tip of your finger, you get more of this, and the whole finger can move and push into the string. And you want to avoid having to move your hand. You don't want to have to go like that, because then every time you do that, you have to find the strings again. You lose your precision. So the long and short of it is, try and get your wrist up a little higher so you can move your fingers underneath, play out the side a little bit, and just play with those muscles, give it full follow through. Now to get rid of that conflict between your thumb and finger, you want to cross them a little bit. Your thumb should be pushed out this way and your finger should be back over here. That way when your thumb moves, it's not getting in the way of where your finger moves. If you go like this, the more your thumb gets inside your hand, you move your finger and it's running into your thumb. And same thing with your thumb. So push your thumb out this way. Lift your wrist up a little higher. And you can do this better. So that was what we did last week. The 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So you're going 4, 3, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. I'm just really focusing on pushing on the side of my finger, getting the wrist up. Cool? And then to really try and work out this hand position better, keep your wrist high and hit each string 4 times, once with each finger. Thumb, ring, middle, index, thumb. And work on getting that to go. So you can go like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I'm doing all that on one string, and I'm not using my hand to flap around and hit the notes. To go that quick, you have to have some really good independence between your fingers. See my thumb's out on this side. And do the same thing on the next strings and so on. Just work down. And every time you feel like you're cramped up, try and get your wrist. Yeah, just don't do this. Don't lift your wrist up, because then you lose the instrument starts falling down. You gotta have that, the 2 legs and your wrist, or you gotta have a strap or something to hold it in place. But really, you just want to have those 3 points. So when you're trying to get your wrist bent more, see the distance now between my wrist and the face of the instrument is much higher than if I'm down like that. That's what I'm trying to do, because now you're cramped up. Now you can only use those tip joints, and you can't really move the big joints in your fingers. The more you do this, the more you get your fingers to be able to move up with your hand. You can really swing, and if you play a little on the side, cross that at an angle instead of 90 degrees, really off to maybe 30 degrees or so, and you get a much bigger range of motion for your fingers, and that feels good. It's all right within the mid-range. You're using those big joints to move more powerfully and a little faster. Your thumb is over on this side, so it's not getting in the way. And you should be able to hit. You should be able to hit thumb, ring, middle, index by using those big joints. Cool?